His campaign's getting a lot of questions about when Biden might get out on the trail. I want to bring in Karl Rove on both these topics, former White House Deputy Chief of Staff for President George W. Bush. And Karl, nice to see you. Come back to the conventions in a moment. What's the strategy inside the Biden campaign? They've been in Delaware since the 15th of March. The polling suggests he has a lead. Is their thinking, let's just go and dig in here and ride it out?
Well, I think they've said, as long as it's working, let's keep doing it. But I think they recognize at some point just the chatter about him only being seen broadcasting from his rec room would begin to bite, and they wanted to start to move before that. So Memorial Day, have him go to the Delaware Memorial to the Fallen, and have him start to be seen. The question is, are they going to be able to sustain it, keep it up? They probably need to do it. He needs to do it gingerly with respect to the standards that are at play in any region that he visits. But I think people do want to start to see and hear a little bit more from Joe Biden as the coronavirus stops taking all the oxygen out of the air, if you will, in our political discussion.
He's been doing some media. When does he do a press conference, do you think?
Not for a while, given what those appearances are. I'm going to actually write about this in my Wall Street Journal column this week, so I'm going to tease you a little bit by saying I've been reading a lot of those, and if I were inside the Biden high command, I'd be very nervous about what I'm seeing in those transcripts. And as I say, I'm going to write about it in my Thursday Wall Street Journal column.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm reading your mind somehow here. On these conventions, DeSantis is saying come to Florida. Listen, the Republicans go to Charlotte the last week of August on the schedule. The governor there is a Democrat, Roy Cooper. The president's cranking up some pressure on him, trying to say, let us know what you're going to do. Well, what would you guess the outcome of this is when the president says, I want a packed house, and it seems as if on the DNC side, they're going more virtual at the moment. Karl, what is your read of this?
Well, these conventions are big, gigantic productions. And so, in fairness to both the Democrats and the Republicans, the rules need to be set sooner rather than later. And the president was simply saying to Governor Cooper, you need to tell us by June 1st whether or not we can be coming and doing the kind of thing we want to do. And one of the worst things that could happen is if Governor Cooper makes a decision that's adverse to the Republican National Convention and does so late. Even if it's on the basis of sound science and good reasoning and defensible, it just makes it look political. So I think sooner rather than later is better. Florida has not only said it would take it, I believe Georgia's also issued statements saying that it would be welcoming of the convention. But we're getting very, very close. It may seem like a lot of time from late May until the third week of August, but it's not that long at all when you're putting on a thing in which, in the Republican case, there are 8,000 delegates and alternates and 20-some-odd thousand people jammed into that Coliseum. The Democrats have twice as many delegates and alternates as the Republicans do, so in many ways, it's even more complicated for them. But, you got to make assignments on hotels, you got to arrive at a program, you got to figure out transportation, logistics, and on this one, you have to do not only the normal security that we've had in place since 9/11, but you also have to have in place the procedures that will allow you to have a healthy convention by screening people and testing people and measuring temperatures and keeping social distance and so forth.
Yeah, it's not easy stuff. 30 seconds left here. The economy. There's a suggestion that Joe Biden will go after Donald Trump on the economy. At the same time, you've got Obama's former financial advisor saying that, heck, by the fourth quarter, you could see this economy being a rocket ship. Your view of that today as we approach June is what, sir?
Yeah. Well, there are three possible arguments, and the Biden campaign's making all three at this point. Trump moved too slowly on COVID and cratered the economy. I think this is the worst argument they could make. Biden was critical of some of the early steps the president took. He's not credible on this one. The Obama-Biden economic record is better than Trump's. I don't think that's going to excite anybody outside of the hardcore base of the Democratic Party. And the final one, and the dangerous one, is Biden knows better than Trump what to do. Right today, Trump has a lead on this question. For Biden to win this, he has to make the argument of what he's actually going to do rather than simply asserting I would be better. So far, he hasn't shown himself able to make a concerted argument, but I think that's the only one of the three where he's got a chance to do anything on the economy that bites hard.
Yeah, CNBC interview last Friday gave a little indication as to what he would support with regard to taxes, but more questions to be answered. Thank you, Karl. Nice to see you.